Great news! One of my favorite brokers, Trading 212, just made some great new additions to their offerings. And that includes some of the highest interest rates that you can possibly get on your cash right now without any lockup period, meaning you can withdraw it anytime you wish. And it's over 4%. In this video, I'm gonna run you through the process because you actually have to activate it in order to get it, because previously the interest was quite low. And we're gonna go through what they actually invest in order for you to get a high interest rate and whether your money is protected or not. Without further ado, let's get started. So when we hop over to the website, trading212.com, you can see immediately you can get now up to 4.2% interest on your euros. I mean, that's the highest I've seen. Previously, the highest I got was 4% with Trade Republic, but now 4.2%. It's really, really good for euros, and there's no lockup period. Check how much you get on your local bank. It's probably way less than that. And obviously, you can go through here and see different currencies that applies to as well. On USD, it's 5.1%. Normally, you would get slightly higher interest on US dollars, but yeah, still really, really attractive. On the pounds, 5%. Then they made already a nice calculator where you can see how much you'd be getting. Let's say we'll max it out, and we'll get to this in a second, up to 20,000 euros that you keep your idle cash over there, which you could consider your emergency fund, for example, which is always good to have a bit of savings on the side in case something happens. And then obviously you want to see how much you would be earning if you kept it there for 1 year. So you would be getting 860 euros in interest if you kept it there for an entire year. And that equates to €2.36 interest per day. So really, really nice. And obviously there's no lockup period. When you look at it, said, do I need to keep my money there for 1 year? No, you don't need. That's the great thing. You can just withdraw it anytime. That's what I love about it. And the same for Lightyear, Revolut, Trade Republic. I love the flexibility. If I want my money right now, I can withdraw it. Boom, no questions asked. Obviously, you could also change it to USD. That would be over $1,000 that you could get in interest just by keeping your money there. I mean, wow, that starts really getting attractive. There's no balance limit, so you can put as much or as little as you want. That's great. No withdrawal restrictions, so you can withdraw all of it at the same time. There's no fee to it. So really, really nice. And best of all, which is really motivating, you actually get the interest paid to you on a daily basis. So basically every day you're gonna get paid, and that starts the compounding process, because once you have the money, next day you're gonna have a slightly higher amount, right? Really, really nice and rewarding. Whenever you open the app, you see your money coming in and the amount getting bigger. I really like the interface. I'll show you in a second on my phone how it looks so you get an idea. But honestly, it's very straightforward, very clear, and I love it. It's really easy, and that's how it's supposed to be, because so many banks, they overcomplicate these things, and here it's super, super straightforward. Obviously, you need to download the Trading 212 app. If you haven't yet, then please use my link in the description below, and you'll be getting one free share valued up to 100 euros. So definitely it's worthwhile to use my link. It helps out the channel as well, so it's a win-win scenario. Right, once you signed up, just open the Trading 212 app over here, and that's usually the dashboard, the portfolio that you see. Right now, I only have 2 stocks over here. I have obviously a number of different brokers. My biggest holding is with the active brokers, but I started more and more using Trading 212 as I really enjoyed the experience. Anyhow, what you want to do from here is click on the bottom right, and from here you want to select earn interest on cash. Now obviously you can see right now I don't have any cash over here. If I select euros, you will see I used to have some cash, and I earned up to 56 euros in total. However, as you can see, the interest rate I used to get, 1.6%, was really not attractive. That's why I moved most of my funds to other apps such as Lightyear, Trade Republic, and of course Revolut, because they pay way higher interest rate. However, I'll show you in a second how you get that number up to a much higher amount that we just spoke about. So all you have to do is click unlock high interest rates over here, learn more. Once you click this, it basically runs you through the process, and that's quite important for you to know how the money is being generated, because money doesn't just grow on the trees. There's actually a mechanism behind how they manage to pay you that high interest rate. And I really like how transparent they are about it. Once again, they run you through the process of how it works. Basically, once again, that is paid daily, and there's no lockup period, and you can withdraw anytime. The current rates are being displayed, and important consideration. And that's really, really important, something for you to understand, that you're basically going to be investing into a qualified money market fund. Now, a lot of other providers offering money market funds, but qualified money market funds are actually even more difficult to invest in and more trustworthy, because as the name implies, they had to go through a rigorous qualifying process in order to become a QMMF. And these are vehicles that even investment funds are investing in to get a high yield return for the investors. So it's really interesting to learn more about it. Previously, I never invested myself into QMMF, but this way, obviously you will, because they invest your money on behalf into a QMMF, and that's how they manage to generate such high returns. You can read through this over here, and I'll talk more about this in a second. But once you're happy with it, you understand the various risks that come with it, because obviously nothing in life is fully risk-free, right? You obviously can go through the FAQ over here, the disclosure note, etc. But then once you're happy with it and you want to unlock it, just click on I've read and understand the risks, and then you want to click on enable. And don't worry, you can always disable and go back to the lower interest rate if you wanted to. And now you can see interest on cash is enabled. Click on close over here and boom, you can see now I'm getting 4.2% interest on my money, which is really, really nice. And obviously that is the annual percentage yield. And some of you might have been asking, if it starts compounding as the payout is every day, it might be even higher, but actually that already takes into the consideration the daily compounding of your amount. So I'll show you in a second the calculation, but basically that's already factored into the daily compounding. So you won't get that on top, but still 4.2% for a year. I mean, that's really healthy returns, I would say. And now all you have to do is deposit money into your Trading 212 account, and you don't have to allocate it anywhere. Basically, as soon as you send money into your account, it will be sitting there, which you would normally use to buy your stocks or ETFs or what have you. As long as it's there and not invested, you will start earning daily interest, which is really, really amazing. There's nothing else more to do for it. Because in Revolut, for example, once you deposit money into your account, you would then have to move it into a separate savings account to get the interest. Here, as soon as your money hits the account, boom, you will start accruing the interest on that. Obviously, as I said, you can go over here, don't pay me interest and opt out of it. But for now, obviously, I want to get interest. So right now, what I've done, actually send money from a Revolut account into Trading 212. It is the weekend, so unfortunately, the transaction doesn't go through. It will go through on Monday. So on Monday morning, it will hit my account and then boom, it will start accumulating interest. And I'll definitely send quite a bit of money over here. Actually, most likely I will kind of max it out up to 20K because I have the money sitting around now anyways, waiting to be invested for various things. But right now I keep it in my local bank account where I get absolutely nothing for it. So instead, I much prefer having it with Trading 212 to start getting that sweet, sweet interest income. And obviously you can click over here on payments and you can see any payments that's coming through. And obviously the last time I had money, cash sitting there was in October. You can see every day how the money was rolling in. So that's really nice when you open the app in the morning, boom. And for me, it would be around €2.40, which definitely starts paying for your coffee. Well, right now I'm in Dubai and the coffee is a bit more than €2.40, but still, right? Why not make use of it? In a month, it's around €70 I'll be getting from that. And that starts paying for a couple of my subscriptions, definitely. So honestly, why not take advantage of it? Right, so coming back to the FAQ section, I think it's important to go through. And once again, I really love how transparent they made it and really opened the most common questions that I had myself and many investors probably had. So starting off with obviously how to enable interest. I've shown you, it's very easy. You just have to click the button. Otherwise you won't be getting it. If you enable it, you're good to go and you will start getting that higher interest income. Which accounts are eligible for it? Obviously all of them. As long as you have a currency that has the high interest rates, you'll be getting it, depending on the currency that you're depositing there, obviously. What are the current interest rates? Now these are the ones that are displayed, but of course they are subject to fluctuation, right? Right now that's what they are. If you watch the video in a week, 2, 3 weeks from now, it might be slightly different, but overall it's significantly higher than it used to be, plus subject to little fluctuations. Are there any minimum or maximum balance required to earn interest? And no, there's no minimum, there's no maximum, which is really good because I know a lot of the apps out there, they pay a really high interest rate, but only let's say up to €5,000. So if you have a lot of money sitting around, then that's not really useful for you. Here, if you have 100K, you can put it all there. Now, do you want to do this and take the risk? I don't know, I personally wouldn't, but if you want to do, you certainly could. Then, as we spoke about before as well, what if I don't want to earn the high interest? Well, then you're just gonna disable it and then you'll automatically go back to the arguably safer, but also significantly lower interest rates. Then that's a great question. How does Trading 212 earn interest? And once again, I like how transparent they are about it. Obviously, they make it very clear that they are not a bank, so they're using a mixture of products and vehicles, such as qualifying money market funds. That's what they say. That's why it's mandatory to accept the QMMF. They don't put you there by default. You have to actually accept it. That's also good because some apps out there, you just put your money and you don't even know what you're investing in. So they make it very clear. Again, it's up to you if you want to accept the risk, but they make it very transparent, which I like. Then they go on to explain what is a qualifying money market fund, because most of us, let's be honest, we haven't really heard about it, and it's not something you invest in on a daily basis, right? So basically, as they say over here, it's a money market fund that holds mainly short-term, low financial assets, aiming to maintain a stable value. These funds are designed to be safe places to keep your cash while earning a bit of interest. And then they go on to mention that qualifying is because they have to meet certain regulations in order to allow them to be considered as cash equivalents. And that's very important. It is almost like a cash equivalent because it's so liquid. That's why you can move in and out. There's no lockup period. And that's for me very important as an investor, because if I want the funds tomorrow or right now, I can withdraw it at an instant notice without any lockup. And that's super, super important to keep in mind. Then they go into how the daily interest payment is calculated. And if you like math, you can run the numbers for yourself. But obviously, obviously, as I said, the compounding effect is already factored in, and that's why they, kind of run you through how it's done. But honestly, once again, I really love it because some of the apps, you try to crunch your own numbers and you don't get to the numbers that they're projecting because they don't make it very clear. Here, they even make it very clear how many days they consider for the calculations. They even factor in the leap year. That's why it's not 365, but 365.25. So I really love the way they calculate it and make it very transparent once again. Then we spoke about it, how often do I get the interest? And here it shows daily. Basically, every single day, you're going to start receiving interest income. Now, obviously, if you deposit the money, the first day may not count because, you might do it after the cutoff date. But then from the next day, once the money is there, you will start getting paid the daily interest income. Do I need to pay taxes on the income? Now, obviously, that depends on your situation where you're based. But generally, it is considered like your income. Some countries have a threshold under which you don't have to pay or declare anything. But if that starts getting serious number and over the threshold, then obviously, depending on how it's being treated, most likely it's considered an income and you have to pay your taxes accordingly. Unless, like myself right now, you're based in Dubai, then you're very lucky. There is no income tax and basically everything you're being paid here is net into your pocket, which is pretty sweet. Which currencies earn interest? We went through this. Obviously, there's a number of them. Just have a look if yours is part of it. And then that's a question probably most important to all of us. Is my money still protected? Now, when you invest with Trading 212 and you're based in the UK, you obviously fall under Trading 212 UK part. And that means it's protected by the FSCS up to £85,000. So that's something to keep in mind. That's your money invested with them over there. If you're based out of the UK, you will fall under the Trading 212 Markets Limited company. And here your funds are protected by the ICF up to €20,000. So obviously a lower threshold of fund protection. Hopefully there will be more in the future. Right now, that is what it is. And of course, they say they have an additional insurance by Lloyd's up to 1 million. I don't think it's applied to every single account 1 million. It might be an umbrella insurance, but still nice to know that they have the additional insurance over there. Then they go on to say, if you hold your money with a QMMF, as we obviously just enabled it, so it means it would be, in that case, if Trading 212 fails, both the UK entity and non-UK entity will serve as a compensation fund of last resort, meaning you'd be compensated up to either £85,000 or €20,000. In the unlikely event that the QMMF, so the investment vehicle, what you're investing in, or Trading 212 on your behalf, fails, the protection unfortunately will not be available. So that means if the QMMF fails itself, then sadly you won't be compensated for that. But once again, that's highly unlikely because such a fund goes through a rigorous screening process that obviously pension funds and so on invest in. So these are not things that come and go. This is big institutional money behind, and big companies such as BlackRock are actually issuing those. So you're really going to be in safe hands here, at least in my opinion. Now, as I said, I wouldn't put 100K in there, but for my part right now, I feel very comfortable investing up to €20,000 with them. And then they also go to answer, can a QMMF go down in value? Then they obviously explain that they have a segregation of funds, which is always very important. And once again here saying it is a very low risk strategy by investing into such instruments. Due to the high regulatory scrutiny, high liquidity and stability of value, they are considered to be cash equivalents. And it's typically used by pension funds to hold large amounts of money in a safe way, with over €1 trillion currently invested in QMMS in Europe. So that's a big number. So obviously, if they were all to collapse tomorrow, I think we really would have a major issue, not just for yourself, but really a global problem there. So I think you're really going to be in safe hands there. So there you have it, guys. I really think it's an amazing way to put your money to work and start getting some interest income on your idle cash. It's much better than just keeping it in your bank account and putting your money to work, so to say. I'm still going to continue buying dividend stocks to get dividend income because here I have dividend income similar to interest income, but at the same time my capital, my principal will also grow, which it won't obviously over here. So it's just a diversification play. I think it's very important to have some money set aside like emergency fund. So keep it over there, keep it in a high saving yield account, or in this case, for example, in a QMMF with Trading 212. You definitely can't go wrong with this. Next up, check out this video over here. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.